Welcome to my channel Digital Challenge Academy with Rimanshu.
All right, let's talk spreadsheets. If you've ever used one, you know the feeling, right? You create this perfect formula, you're feeling like a total genius, and then the second you drag it down to fill the other cells, everything just breaks. It is so frustrating, but guess what? Today, we are gonna fix that for good. Oh yeah, I'm talking about those awful error messages or maybe just a whole column of zeros when you know there should be numbers. It is a universal pain point for sure. But the solution is actually way simpler than you think. It's all about understanding how your spreadsheet thinks. So let's break this down with a classic example. So imagine this. You've got a list of prices over in column A. And in one single cell, let's say D1, you've got your sales tax rate. Maybe it's 10%. The goal is super simple. Calculate the tax for every single price on your list. The formula itself is easy, right? It's just the price times the tax rate. Okay, so you grab that tiny little square at the corner, you drag it down, feeling super confident, and bam, total disaster. The numbers are completely wrong. Or even worse, you've got a whole mess of errors. So what happened? Well, this isn't a bug. It's actually a feature. Let's pull back the curtain and see what's really going on. The reason for all this chaos has a name. It's called a relative reference. This is the default setting for pretty much any spreadsheet program out there. And once you get what it's doing, you're halfway to becoming a formula master. So what does that actually mean? Well, it means your spreadsheet isn't really thinking about the specific cell A2. It's thinking, hey, take the cell that's 2 columns to my left. So when you move that formula, its starting point changes, which means all those directions change right along with it. Look, here's the play-by-play. Our original formula was equals A2 times D1. When we drag it down one row, the spreadsheet tries to be helpful and updates both parts. So A2 becomes A3, which is perfect. That's the next price, exactly what we want. But, and here's the problem, D1 becomes D2, which points to a completely empty cell, and that's where everything goes wrong. You know, a good way to think about it is like giving someone directions. If you tell them, go 1 block up and 2 blocks to the left, those instructions only make sense from one specific starting corner. If they start from a different spot, they're going to end up somewhere totally different. That is exactly what a relative reference is doing. So how do we tell our formula to always go back to that one specific corner for the tax rate? Well, the answer is the secret weapon of spreadsheet pros, the absolute reference. And it's all about the mighty $sign. What we need to do is anchor or lock the part of the formula that should never, ever change, no matter where we drag it. In our little example, that's the tax rate, sitting all by itself in cell D1. And the change is surprisingly simple. You just go from a regular D1 to $D, $1. You can think of those dollar signs like little locks. One lock on the column and another lock on the row. It's basically you telling the spreadsheet, hey, no matter what, you always use column D and you always use row 1. The big takeaway here is that an absolute reference creates a fixed, immovable target. It's no longer relative, it's, well, absolute. Your formula now says multiply the cell to my left by whatever is in cell $D, $1. Now, when you drag that down, it works like a charm, every single time. And hey, here's a tip that will make you feel like a total pro. Instead of trying to manually type in those dollar signs, just click on the cell reference in your formula bar and hit the F4 key. It will automatically cycle through all the different locking options for you. Seriously, it's a huge time saver. Okay, so we know we can let a reference move around freely, or we can lock it down completely. But what if you need something in between? For that, we've got a more advanced technique, the mixed reference. With a mixed reference, you only use one $sign. So $A1 locks the column. It'll always be column A, but the row number can change. And $1 does the opposite. It locks the row, so it's always row 1, but the column letter can change. This gives you this incredible precise control, which is absolutely perfect for something like a multiplication table. A classic multiplication table is really the perfect example to see this in action. Take a look at the formula in that top left cell. $B1 times A$2. See what we did? We locked row 1 for the top value, and we locked column A for the side value. This is so cool because it lets us write just one single formula and then drag it across the entire table to fill everything out perfectly. It's clean, it's efficient, and it's super powerful. And there you have it. You've just unlocked a skill that really separates the beginners from the experts. And this isn't just some neat little trick. It's a fundamental concept that's going to make you faster, more accurate, and way more confident in your work. We're talking about saving hours of debugging broken spreadsheets. So let's recap the 3 types real quick. You've got relative, like A1, which is the default that just moves around with your formula. You have absolute, like $A$ with 2 $, which is totally locked down. And then you have mixed with just $1, giving you that surgical control to lock either just the row or just the column. From this day forward, you never have to be frustrated by a broken formula again, because now you don't just know what to do, you understand why you're doing it. You really do have the key to building stronger spreadsheets and saving yourself a whole lot of time. All right, let's see if it all sunk in. I have one final question for you that covers the single most practical tip we talked about today. This is the one. This is the key that's going to save you the most time day in and day out. Think about it for a sec. That simple little key press is your new best friend for building amazing, unbreakable spreadsheets. Thanks for tuning in.